Soviets and Soviets, the Red Army, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, hello, hello, hello.
And folks, I know this map looks familiar, but we haven't seen it in quite a bit of time. This is Brest West. So we are still in the east, but we're over into Brest here. So Rang, who is fighting today, and what of this terrible divisions tournament is going on?
Well, on the left-hand side in blue, we have GreenHD playing as Panzer Lehr with a Flatline income. And on the right-hand side, we have vonPaulus playing as a Polish home army with a Flatline income as well.
Alright, so look at the Panzer Lehr. You and I were talking about this going into it. Why, or what does the Panzer Lehr have that makes them terrible?
Well, like a lot of German panzer divisions currently in the game, like, you think Panthers, Tigers, and Panzer Grenadiers are awesome, but they're not. Panzer Grenadiers is not that good and actually doing infantry killing stuff, and Panzer IVs usually get outclassed by T-34-76s because T-34-76s are cheaper and usually just beat them. Whereas it's an equal fight run and run. It's just, they're just not that good because tank gameplay and machine gun infantry gameplay is not fantastic. It's not due to, you don't really have the numbers as we see constantly of Russian divisions.
So by comparison then, why the Polish home army?
Because they only got infantry and that's really it. Like, tanks is very lackluster. You get like a few heavy tanks and that's it. And you got some decent air power, you got like, not much artillery really. The infantry is cool and I love it. I wish we'd see Polish home army more often because they're such an awesome thematic division. But they're just, once you just get past the pretty cool and ragtag infantry, there's not really much to it. Because you don't really have much other, like, more heavier equipment to help you out in the ground game.
It does seem a bit of a harder kind of moment there. Looking outside of that, we are going to see a bit of a Polish push in the south, but I don't know if it's really going to happen. It does seem like this is still the green room, so maybe until we get past rehearsal, we'll see a completely different kind of association here. But for now, Storm Pioneers and Flammenwerfers are going to keep them at arm's length. I mean, good luck. It's not
it's
going to
be a hot fight down south, man.
Indeed. Now, one thing actually I do kind of like is we have both these Browning trucks and these, 2-centimeter flak 30s down to the south. It's not something that you would think as being the most vital positioning of anti-air, but you have to realize that the Browning is you use the term lackluster. That's putting it mildly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a nice thing because it's a transport for the 20 mils, so you pretty much just pay like 5 points for a bit of extra, like for a machine gun. Like if someone came up to me and it's like, "Hey, Rang, you want to buy a Browning machine gun for 5 points?" I'd be like, "Cool, where's the conversion first off for 5 points Canadian dollars? And secondly, can I get this machine gun?" But yeah. It's a lovely thing about seeing these more terrible divisions. We get to see some interesting matchups here. I don't really see your more classic German panzer divisions all that often because of the reasons I stated before. It's just better sticking with more infantry or mechanized troops or divisions or minor Axis nations for the Axis in general. And same thing of home army, because they're awesome. Like I said, they're awesome, and it's cool to see them being played. And they're very good on a map like this and like forest fights, as they got some excellent CQC infantry.
I'm sorry to watch this fucking wolf over here making a minor run of this IL-2, but I think his bloodlust is going to see him bite the dust here.
Yeah.
There's yaks coming in as well, good lord.
But yeah, the Focke-Wulf is flying very high, and he managed to get out the sky without crashing into the ground, which is, arguably an accomplishment.
At this point, yeah, definitely in the war. Now we have this Pack 40 who's all by his lonesome here, trying to push back on some of this infantry, and that was a bit of a foolish move there, but hey, he made that decision. I'm not going to fault him for it, I suppose.
Yeah. He's got the Focke-Wulf trying to come in, but the IL-2 got a really good head-on gun run on him. But he's low on ammunition, the IL-2, so I don't think he's going to be useful for much longer.
Oh, he's helpful enough.
Okay. He used like 20 bullets here. Oh, he only has 10 shots left, and just enough to finish off the Focke-Wulf. Absolute beast shows IL2s are, man.
Well, not for nothing, but I think the Focke-Wulf that we had there had a leaky fuel tank, so maybe he ran out of fuel. He got the top up before he left.
Yeah, he made an emergency pit stop for fuel. Someone's gonna come in with a supply truck and top him up, and probably have to assemble the plane back together.
Yeah, and the pieces of the pilot as well, I'm sure. Now we are going to see 81mm start to engage down south. In fact, we also have another impromptu anti-air camp going to be set up to the northern side of things, which I think is a good plan. We have seen a couple of bombing runs there.
Yeah.
But when all is said and done, Panzer Lehr definitely on the ropes a bit.
Yeah, it's not on a map like this. Are going to have difficulties with how it's very much infantry focused, and Panzer Lehr infantry is just not good. Same with a lot of Panzer Division infantry in general. So this is, that's really what he's going to have to try and struggle with. Of course, when it comes to the tank fights, he has many more tanks and fire support compared to vonPaulus, but it's trying to get them into position, which is the huge ask to begin with.
Well, and that's the thing. We're actually seeing up north, for example, we see a couple of anti-tank guns taking out, I believe it was a pair of P4s.
Yep.
And while you may have more tanks, you cannot afford to be kind of profligate with their lives. Indeed, we're actually, going down south again. We're going to see... Well, the Ochos are coming around. I'm not entirely sure why they're quite so panicky by that P4 there, but the Ochos are coming around.
Yep. Yeah, this is very aggressive push of the Ochos early on is allowing vonPaulus to get quite a lot of territory. A Panzer IV is going to be a bit of a pain in the ass unless you can kill it. He does have Trot, the Hetcher, the friendly Hetcher, nearby.
It's just like a kid's show. It's Trot, the friendly Hetcher.
There's a bunch of kids like dancing around it, and Trot has like some googly eyes and a smiley face.
Oh, of course. And they're clapping their hands. You're absolutely right. Now, to the north, we continue to have these Armada Pack 30, Pack 50s with the, what's it, 36 right next to it? Yeah, 36 next to it.
Yeah. Polish 36.
Indeed. And not to be outdone, we're bringing in 3 more anti-tank guns, 2 more 50 mils and a 75 mil. So, I believe the next great hurdle to be surmounted here is to take out that Panther. It's like sinking the Bismarck, except, sinking him on land.
Yeah. Once they blow him up, they're just gonna chuck him in the lake. So they sunk him outright.
Well, at that point, the Soviet Navy's gonna be like, "We did it!"
We are seeing these 81 mils are actually doing a really good job here down south. We're actually seeing smoke, and I'd love seeing good smoke play here. But I wonder if he's gonna try and get close with his leader unit, maybe with the Faust trying to get the Panzer IV kill. It would definitely be the good call at the moment, considering the Panzer IV is charging head-on without any infantry cover in a pile of smoke.
I was like, he doesn't need infantry cover. He's got smoke cover. He's got soul power. But other than that, that seems to be the only game in town at the moment. Just the mortars just smoking everything because they got them.
Yeah, it's just a slow +1 advantage from vonPaulus. I think for Green, his best bet is trying to push up north, but as we're seeing, it's just like Napoleonic cannon here with all sorts of artillery guns here. Unless he can get some artillery of his own to try and knock out those guns, I don't think he's going to be making much progress.
Highly doubtful, highly doubtful. Oh, sorry, I had to take a rather large sniff there. We have Focke-Wulf coming to the north, looking to take out some of these anti-tank positions. Indeed, honestly, even if they stress it out, that will be much better than what's been existing before. Unfortunately for him, I think this IL-2 is going to have just enough ammunition probably to cause some hassles.
I won't get the angle, however.
Well, don't worry, the Focke-Wulf will still stay around for some stinking reason. No, he's actually leaving.
Maybe he's trying to bait IL-2?
Bait him? Nope, he's not baiting him.
Is he going in? Or he's not? Oh, he's going in for a strafing run. He's not done yet, Focke-Wulf.
He's going to be.
Uh,
Now, back to the south, yes, we are going to see a rush by this Polish infantry, and we're going to see them rather crudely thrown to shreds by this Gepard and the P4 from close range, and the Flammenwerfer, who is going to rain fire down on them with the Eye of Sauron.
yeah. It's a shame that the smoke has dissipated, yeah. Because he was very close to getting his leader within Faust Patron range, but it is not meant to be.
No, it is not. And indeed, we see more Pigrant and another Gepard down here to the south trying to stabilize the situation, to put it mildly. Because right now we are back to a 12-12. Courtesy of these brave Pigrants and Flammenwerfers over here in the center of the map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Pigrant, it's definitely gonna help out if you need some infantry. But as we're seeing here, GreenHD, like, with his armor, yeah, it's allowing him to get his advantage. Even just Gepards, which aren't, you know, the most fanciest of units. When you're just fighting infantry, especially infantry without AT, you can make him work.
You certainly can. Now, we're going to consistently see these Focke-Wulf bombing runs, and I wonder to a certain extent if he's just trying to cause the Brownings and the flak guns to run out of ammo. But my friend, those guns can kill. I'm not entirely sure why he's being so lackadaisical about his aviators' lives here.
Yeah, definitely going to be losing. Yeah, especially his Panzer Lehr, you don't have a whole lot of air power available to you. You want to try and keep him alive for as long as possible.
That's certainly the ideal, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, down south, we're waiting for this, I think, for this Gepard move to get online before they start engaging with all this infantry. They have a peak run behind the front lines, but there's this huge knot of Poles who are sitting in those trees, and outside, I think, of an artillery barrage, which I'm surprised hasn't happened yet. They're not likely to go anywhere anytime soon.
No, yeah, you just don't have the CQC infantry as Panzer Lehr to try and rout them out in a head-on fight. You really do need some sort of artillery or air power to, you know, get the suppression, get the damage in, and then use the Panzer Grenadiers and mop up.
The mildly surprising thing here about this is that I'm surprised we haven't seen one of those Focke-Wulf gun runs, bombing runs down here to the south. That's what, 6 squads, all within 200-meter diameter. This is begging for something to happen.
Yeah. Up north, we're also seeing a push here from Partizanses trying to capture his town, but the Stern Pioneer is going to make it a little bit tough for him. Oh.
Tough, but not impossible. Even as watch
No.
the P4 and the Panther are going to engage a couple of anti-tank guns in the town, and you might suspect that, you know, that finishes out the way that it does rather consistently.
Yeah.
With everyone being freaked out. Yes, sir?
Seen a Panther from the Army Croger side, because they do get 3 Panthers and 1 Tiger available to them in B phase if you decide to take them, of course. So a little bit of extra heavy armor definitely helps out. Definitely not going to be enough to go mano to mano to a huge amount of Panzer Lehr armor, but it doesn't matter if your Panzer Lehr armor goes kaboom to, well, stolen anti-tank guns.
Doesn't seem to be the case now, does it? Gepard down to the south, by the way, goes down courtesy of the IL-2 rocket plane. And this is certainly one of those planes I feel like kind of looks at anti-air fire, laughs at it, and just kind of does another line off the cockpit dashboard. Well, think about it. How often do you see an IL-2 go down to concerted ground fire? It could be 3 or 4 sources, and they don't die.
Yeah, it's true. Especially in 1v1s where you don't have the, you know, dedicated anti-air nets that you do in team games. I mean, you usually only have like a few Bofors style guns in your 1v1s, which is not enough to get through that aluminium of the IL-2's cockpit.
By comparison, if you look to the Focke-Wulf to the north, we had those 2 Brownings and the 2-centimeter anti-aircraft guns. Literally, the second they fired, the radio was overheating. I was like, okay, gotta go back to base. I can't do this today, guys. I'm sorry. Seemed a little bit silly. Yes, sir?
Yeah, it's just a pretty good push here so far from vonPaulus. I mean, the one side he really has to worry about is this northern sector, because that's the best sector for Green to push. But with all those partisanis and bringing in the Panther, it's gonna make it a pain in the ass for Green to actually push.
It's true, but I would not say that we should ignore the south. If you look to the south, we have 259s, we have P3s, we have a P4, we actually, it looks like another P4 coming in now. We've got some infantry, we've got some Gepards. Again, unleash the air power here, ignore the north for the moment. It's not going to go anywhere else fast.
Yeah, like, he has all his armored forces down south, but he can't use them right now. You know, it's just sort of a race to point, getting so much armor here and not actually doing anything with it. Yeah, up north there, he's starting to get... He's got 2 Panther A's out coming in, as well as a 120mm mortar definitely help out in routing out that hill position, so maybe that'll be enough to try and turn the tide on the northern side.
Well, he has certainly lost everything else in that area, so it's got to be a little bit cautious. But also, we have failed to call it out here, but the 2 Ochos able to take back that town to the southeast of the bridge, that, you know, around which we're kind of focusing right here.
That's definitely a good bridgehead to hold.
Certainly is. Certainly is.
To see both sides slapping away with their artillery, 120mm trying to round out the home army's 81s and forcing them to relocate for now. And we're seeing a tiger, but a Polish tiger. Or Tigris, which is probably a cooler name than tiger, honestly.
Well, I can't say I've met too many Polish tigers. Bengal, sure. Siberian, yes, I guess. But, yeah, that Polish Tigris is not something that's come up very often on Animal Planet there.
No.
Worth mentioning in the meantime, this is Gepard who's putting fire down into this town. And we're seeing a tentative push. It's a very, very delicate probe. To push back another squad of Soviets here. The Peagrons are lucky, though, that there are no more Molotovs over here from those Polish troops.
Yeah, they would have been dead by now if there was a Molotov in that squad, but... He definitely needs, like, a bit... I mean, he needs more infantry to take that town first off, but more importantly, he really needs to try and secure his northern hill, I think, before trying to make any southern maneuvers.
Well, it seems like he disagrees with you, because we have a Focke-Wulf coming in, and I imagine there's 2 IL-2s coming in the direction. Yep. And he gets morale damage, but that's literally it.
Yep. Now roll the Focke-Wulf get a ray.
No.
That is digression for the day.
No way in hell.
Oh no, he's getting 20 mils from both sides, yeah. Maybe? No. He's fast, he's furious, but he's dead.
He's flaming.
Yeah, he's on fire.
Oh yeah, he's hot stuff. We are seeing, I don't want to call it a succession of hostilities, but it looks like both sides content to kind of lick their wounds for a moment, as the Poles concentrating a huge amount of infantry, and indeed starting to push forwards as we speak. And
there we go.
Oh my god, that Pack 75 had a beautiful little line of sight to take out the Gepard. On paper, that sight line doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm. But they just shoot through the paper with that gun, you know?
It's hard to think that there's any time that a gun would not shoot through paper.
Yeah. Well, it's just like a water gun. You just make it red. Then you have very useless paper.
I don't know, man. I've definitely seen that. The Japanese game show where they have water guns.
Oh, Takeshi's Castle?
Yes, you're right. I don't know, man. I've seen that game. I know that definitely works. But the partisans, not to be outdone, they'll bring their own private party over here to the Sturmpio and the Panzer Grenadier in this northern forest. And indeed, you take this ridge and you dominate the battle space in front of it. So,
yeah,
fantastic idea there.
Yeah, ridge is such a huge, like, strong point on this whole northern side of the map, and it really does benefit the right side a bit. vonPaulus, through the positioning, has his spawn point pretty much starts on that ridge. So if he can just push on through here and get his Tiger into one of these forests and just look down, bang, 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 here goes the tanks. That's the sound that tanks make when they shoot.
You know, I'm happy you described that to me because I wasn't sure.
Okay. Why did this Panzer Grenadier down south get into his position?
He's been there for literally the last 10 minutes. He was about 200 meters southeast of that PTRD.
He made a very poor decision with his life.
Well, every now and again, when you're young, you think you want to do something with your life, and you get older, you realize that sometimes your life decisions tend to put you in an early grave. But
yeah,
that message
sometimes
of hope,
you just get stopped by a checkmate anti-tank piece.
Exactly. I was going to say that message of hope was. I'm proud to say that message of hope came from Con Ulrich today. So, kids, stay in school.
Yeah, otherwise Hetchers are going to come for you, and trust me, you do not want to mess with the Hetcher.
True. That is absolutely accurate. Honestly, even being next to one of those things, it could be nobody in it, still terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, this Panther patrol that you were talking about up north, well, they're getting into action right now. We're doing some light suppression here, nothing too huge.
But at long range, they have the advantage.
Yes. Yes. Now, also, I kind of like the fact that we finally, at long last, have an 88 on the map. And it does some considerable HE damage, but for some reason decided to stop firing on this infantry as they continue to fall back deeper into the trees.
Yeah. He's got 288, so he's very serious about getting some proper anti-air coverage out.
Well, very soon he has 288s is going to be down to he had 288s and now it's 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they run more mortars doing some work. But hey, he actually kept his transport near the 88 and used it to load it back up to reposition it. That's a very smart move.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's something we barely see anything of anymore, and I feel like it's such an underutilized... Ooh, the other one somehow goes down.
Because that's what happens. I think it was the anti-Pac 50 mil. Just barely had line of sight on it.
I think you're right.
Yeah. But yeah. Because it's such like a good thing to do with those armored transports. I always usually just rush them up and get them killed. But actually keeping them with your flat guns does increase the flat gun survivability by quite a bit.
And the half-track for that matter, too.
Mm-hmm. He just don't want to be near the front line, even though he has a machine gun.
If you've been watching as this Panther G over here gets engaged by its former brethren. Or more accurately, lures them into an anti-tank gun front as these Pac 75s, these captured packs, are going to just absolutely shred them.
Yeah, and are they... Yeah, they're pretty close. They were kind of close. They do have a good shot of getting some kills on the Panthers, as we know with SC2's armor penetration mechanic. It is a little bit of black magic.
Well, and for some reason the Panthers are like, oh yes, let's shoot the Tiger one time, let's shoot the Panther one time. Maybe we'll fire the anti-tank guns.
It's a very target-rich environment for them.
Yes, but you kind of need to make a commitment, man.
Yeah.
And I believe, this IL-2 is going to wreak havoc. This is the biplane, isn't it?
No, it's the IL-2. It's your unkillable...
Oh, yeah, the monster.
You're probably thinking of, like, the PO2?
Probably. Yeah. Probably.
But it's another IL-2, just in case you got sick of the first one. Here's
the second. Oh, of course. I mean, it's one of those things, if one is good, two must be better.
Mm-hmm. And we don't talk about having 3 of them.
No. That's an all for one, one for all kind of moment there.
Yeah.
That we can't possibly discuss. It's like a black hole thing. Now that Flak 88 that unfortunately before lost its half track, he will very soon lose his life, I imagine, as all the mortars are engaging him.
Yeah. The nice thing about Flak 88s, they do have a lot of HP, so we're gonna be a while before he goes down. But still, down south, we still have we've finally seen an infantry push here with Panzer Grenadiers to try to rout out the Ochos. Pardon me, the Ochos. But it's such a shame seeing, he has so much forces here, but he hasn't done anything with them for over 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a huge waste of potential. Even now he has 120 more mortar down south, but he really should be using it to fire onto the forest before actually moving up any further.
Or firing on the Soviet artillery.
Yeah.
You see right now, the Flak 41 has just been completely shredded.
Yeah, but that's an expensive loss.
Yes, it is. I think 3 of them? 4 of them?
Yeah, I think you can Like, you get like 2 of them in B phase and then 4 of them in C phase per card. But you usually only get 1 card, so I don't know how many he took, but still. I mean, it's also like 115 points or 120 for Flak 88. So, you know, that's a bit of a hole in the pocket.
Yes, indeed. Now we're watching
Yeah.
this Gepard down in the trees here, kind of being in its natural habitat, you know?
It's good to see wildlife returning back.
It's a conservation thing, you know? You have to remove the active predators in the area, those invasive species, we call them Soviets. But you know what? I think the Panzer Lehr, they're really good naturalists. You know, let's the Peagrens in there. Let's protect the native species. Yeah, I got you. It's a story of World War II that never gets told. Just like that P4 over here, just never really got to know what love is after getting taken out. I think probably by the Schwat. No, not the Schwat. Excuse me. Probably by one of the Pack 36s, the capture packs.
Yeah. Yeah, Pack 50's on that southern hill is in a perfect position. If you just look at his line of sight, he can just see right down the road. And with just that, you know, light to medium armor, he's gonna have a field day.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But finally seeing that, like, hill being broken there, with GreenHD pushing through, you can finally get some Panzer Grenadiers into the forest and maybe make, you know, a bit of a head raid down south, but he really needs his mortar to start firing on that anti-tank gun to knock it out. He can probably deal with a Schrot, but the Pack 38 is... Oh, he can't deal with a Schrot.
Not anymore.
Maybe? I don't know.
No.
I doubt it.
You have to have a 3-to-1 generally, especially for that tank. Again, not for nothing, but that is a hefty little machine there. And here comes the IL. You got me doing it. The ILs are going to come in and just take out pretty much anything that's even remotely terrifying. The Russian air power on this has been handled superbly.
Yeah. Yeah, with Army Krauger, or Home Army, I should really say, I mean, you don't have a lot of... I mean, you don't have a lot of numbers in terms of, like, powerful ground forces. They have those anti-tank guns, but you don't get many of them. He's just been doing a very good job of keeping them alive. But its air power is pretty on point.
Aligning? Okay, I was like, another kill here. But just like that, what happened to the entire Air Force? Or the entire attacking force? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plumes of smoke. Gee, I wonder.
Maybe having a barbecue.
Ooh, yes, a giant Wehrmacht roast? Yes, no doubt. No doubt. And the last one dies over here, and indeed, the last IL-2 doesn't even get a chance to unload his rockets on something. I imagine he's quite upset about it.
Yeah.
Looking at it really from the Soviet perspective, from the Polish perspective, we have another concentration of force to the north, but who really gives a good, you know, hoot about it?
Yeah, I mean, he's got most of it, like, he pretty much has the entire northern ridge under his control. And just by having it under control, as you can see, GreenHD had to take a much more defensive position on his own ridge line. And he's not going to be making much progress, yeah.
No, highly doubtful here. I can't help but feel it might be better for us to go to ×2, maybe shortly after 29 minutes here. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, 29:05. We're going to make the jump. All right, folks. And, you know, it's 14:10 right now. Again, GreenHD has not necessarily mishandled a good chunk of this. I think it's more of he was kind of screwed by geography and then kind of by inaction.
Yeah. Yeah, this is not a good map for Panzer Lehr in general. Heck, a lot of 1v1 maps aren't really good for Panzer Lehr, in my opinion, right now.
But, you know, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. Now, one thing I am surprised about is that nothing was ever really truly done about that anti-air. I know it was not a game winner, let's say, for vonPaulus, but you have to admit the German air power would be a lot more devastating if they actually could bring in some Ju-88s or Focke-Wulfs or whatever have you, and not be afraid of immediately losing them.
Yeah, like
yes, sir.
yeah, like he did have like some of his. I think the main loss to his airplanes was really due to the Soviet air power. He did have anti-air pieces out, but they just got killed by artillery guns, as we keep seeing. I'm also really surprised, with his mortars and whatnot, he wasn't a bit more proactive in trying to knock out Polish anti-tank guns, because they don't get a lot of them. And if you can knock those anti-tank guns out, then your tanks can have a bit more of a fun time in the sea phase, running around blowing stuff up without, pesky guns blowing you up.
It's rather ungentlemanly of them that way. That's for darn sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm laughing at the fact there's this horde of Poles running through the southern forest, and just to the east of them there's a Peak Wrench kind of chilling in the trees. And I think Green made a good call here. He tapped out.
Holy crap.
And that's exactly why.
Holy crap. It didn't feel like that. I guess it kind of did, actually. Thinking about it. Yeah, he did lose a lot of stuff.
37 mil.
Like Panthers.
Multiple kills. Killed the Flak 88. Killed a half-track. Killed an anti-tank gun. The IL-2s, 3 ground kills. Pack 75, 4 ground kills. Even the Schwat killed a couple. I mean, like, this wasn't entirely unexpected.
Yeah. And if you look at losses here...
1 IG-18, that's about it.
Yeah.
But, have a terrible division, get a terrible result. Makes perfect sense.
Terrible divisions tournament, guys.
So yes, though, if you like what you see with this, keep coming back, because we're going to be bringing you some more from this terrible divisions tournament. Of course, as always, a big thank you to the huge community who kind of supports all these events, in this particular case here, Robert. But yeah, guys, keep coming back if you want to see more of these kinds of matchups. Any other thoughts there, Ryan?
None today.
Alright, folks, remember to tip your waitresses. Until next time, I'm Con Ulrich.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.